This is the campus of Utah Valley University in the United States. On September 10th, an unexpected debate turned into one of the most talked about events in the U.S. in recent years. When Charlie Kirk resigned, a shot was fired from a building 180 meters away, hitting one of the most prominent men in the Trump group. Hours later, the media showed a picture of a young man studying at the university, accused of being behind this plot. But when people looked again at how things happened and the location of the shooter, many believed this was an intelligence conspiracy. Fingers were pointed at his friends, whom he had strongly criticized in recent months, especially about Israel's affairs. So how did it happen, and what are the traces if this is considered an intelligence conspiracy? My name is Abi Kafi, and this is AK Media. Welcome viewers to our video today. The time was September 10, 2025, and the place was Utah Valley University in Utah, USA. The atmosphere was calm. Thousands of students had gathered in the large campus square. In the middle of the square stood a man named Charlie Kirk, confidently smiling. He was holding a debate with the university students. Everything seemed normal at first, but suddenly everything changed. A bullet fired from 10 meters away hit Charlie in the neck during the debate. The shot ended his life and opened many questions that still have no answers. The official U.S. government report said the person who killed him was a young extremist. He came from the far left side of politics and opposed Charlie and his ideas. But when we review the controversial life of the man who was killed, and look at the hidden sides of this event, we find a chain of incidents, each more confusing than the last. Questions that still have no answers include: is it possible for a young university student to plan and carry out such a murder? What caused Charlie's death? In his last days, Charlie reportedly felt fear and suspicion that someone was planning to kill him. Connecting all these events, some say Israel's intelligence, Mossad, is the main suspect behind this plot, as we mentioned. On the 10th of September, at the courtyard of Utah Valley University, there was a public debate among students of the university. One of them was a man called Charles Kirk. Around 12:20 p.m., a loud sound interrupted the debate. Everyone became silent for a moment, then they saw Charles bleeding from his neck and falling from his chair. When the crowd realized what had happened, chaos broke out, people screamed and ran. Cameras showed that the bullet came from the roof of a building called Louis Center, about 180 meters away. A sniper lying on the roof had carried out the operation perfectly without mistakes. The killing of this man pushed America into a new stage of division. The U.S. president ordered the flag to be lowered to half-mast in mourning. But why was the death of a 30-year-old young man, who held no official government position, treated as a historic event that could change America's future? Let's see who Charles Kirk, also known as Charlie Kirk, really was. He was a politician who, at the age of 18, decided not to join college like most youths. Instead, in 2012, he created his own media platform and founded an organization called Turning Point. Its aim was simple: to spread far-right Christian conservative ideas in areas dominated by liberals. At first, many dismissed him as a dreamer, but Charles had a strong debating character. He managed to grow his small idea into a powerful movement. By the time he was killed, his organization had an annual income of more than $55 million and over 350 employees. Charles himself became a media star whose ideas reached millions of followers on social media. He was also a close friend of Donald Trump, to the point that many believed he played an important role in Trump's second White House victory. It's also important to note that Charles was one of the strongest supporters of Israel. His organization, Turning Point, relied heavily on Jewish donors, and he was famous for publicly defending Israel's violence and massacres. But what shocked many was that, in the last months before his death, he started showing signs of changing his position. He began inviting critics of Israel to his debates, including well-known figures such as Take the Person and Davis Mitt, who were famous for opposing Israeli policies. Shortly before his death, in an interview with Meghan Keeney, he complained about constant attacks from major Jewish organizations. He said the reason they targeted him was simply because he had expressed an opinion different from theirs. The connection between Charles and the Jewish lobby in America had once been one of the strongest alliances. But the Jewish groups began to see him as a young speaker who could influence the new generation, a generation no longer listening to old politicians. At the same time, he had the money and the media platforms to spread his voice widely. He always used his media and public appearances to polish Israel's ugly image, until suddenly he stopped. This man's assassination among the leaders and businessmen of Jewish origin, they labeled all this as anti-Semitism and warned people not to believe that the killing of this man was an accident, but rather a plan prepared long in advance. Let us go back to the day of the murder. Cameras showed that at around 11:52 a.m., an unknown person was seen moving around inside a bar university. Half an hour before the assassination, surveillance captured the person circling the roof of a nearby building close to the square where the debate was taking place. He was choosing the best spot to fire from. After assessing, he selected a place about 180 meters from where the man was sitting. He laid down in position and prepared to execute his mission. The area was crowded with thousands of students. He had only one chance. The target had to be killed with a single bullet in a way that he could not survive. The question is, could a young university student with no prior military training really carry out such a complex operation? The answer becomes clear as we continue. He fired the shot, and the bullet struck the man in the neck, leaving him unable to make any noise. Chaos and panic filled the square. The victim was rushed away in a police car. The first footage uploaded on social media by people at the scene showed a man in black clothes leaving the roof of the building near the university. He calmly climbed down, without showing fear, jumped off the wall, and escaped, leaving behind his gloves and shoes. He ran toward bushes near the university while still carrying the rifle. Shortly after, police found the gun wrapped in cloth and thrown in a garbage spot. Many interpreted the police response as a staged performance. Media attention was suddenly shifted to a 70-year-old man named Jorgensen, who was attending the political debate. His photos spread everywhere after security forces presented him as the suspect. This became like a trap to distract the press. Hours later, when the show ended, police announced that Jorgensen was not the killer and released him. But with pressure growing, they had to present the public with a real suspect. Surprisingly, a 22-year-old man named Tyler Robinson was announced as the one arrested. According to the official police version, Tyler's father, a former police officer, recognized his son from the wanted photo released by the FBI. He confronted his son and asked him to tell the truth. After hesitation, Tyler confessed. At first, he refused to surrender and threatened to kill himself, but his father convinced him to give up. On September 10th, Tyler went to the police station and surrendered. The next day, he was charged with intentional murder. In conclusion, when you compare all these events, one must ask, was this assassination the work of intelligence services behind a conspiracy, or simply the act of a university student opposing the victim's ideas? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video convincing, don't forget to like and share with your friends. And if you're new, join us and be part of our growing community. Thank you.